our banks and banking system is a scam, and your jobs are designed to keep you just over broke. The private Western central banking system has never been designed to benefit the people. And if you go back in time and you do your research and your due diligence on the implementation of our current private Western central banking system that was established in 1913, you can see that it's always been designed to benefit the few and the elected and the elite, the globalist, not the majority. And right now, the everyday person is starting to take notice of this system and how it affects them, especially financially. Everyday sectors are seeing rapid price increases. Things that people use every day, essential goods like eggs and beef and pork, gas, laundry equipment, natural gas to heat their homes, used cars and trucks, vehicle rentals, hotels and motel stays. But remember, inflation, we teach you about on this channel. It's really just the devaluation of your purchasing power and spending ability. It's not really that the price of these items are rising, because they're just the same items that they were yesterday. It's actually just taking more and more and more and more and more of these worthless pieces of paper excuse me, pieces of paper in your pocket, these private Western central banker and Federal Reserve notes that they've tricked you into, having. Cash is king, remember? We hear that often said, time and time again. But it's the same thing that you purchased yesterday. Same item, same size. Nothing's better, nothing's bigger. The same essential good that you needed to survive yesterday. Just more and more of these notes that you need to purchase them with. It's just that's what's needed. And it's okay. Hey, they're out here saying, since we see inflation, just get used to it. You're going to have to sacrifice. That's what they're saying. You are going to have to sacrifice. I mean, you didn't see what Kamala Harris said? Anyways. See, they have to tell you to get used to the new normal, because they don't have a cover story anymore, and we'll go over that. But remember back in 2016, as the worst president ever was on his way out of office, and he told us this is it. This is the best the economy can do. It's the new normal. And then we saw this orange guy who was, never supposed to win, but did it anyway. And he came out and used that same economy under different policies, and allowed it to thrive to the likes of which we've never seen before. We had more money in our pockets. We could get a job, lowest unemployment rates ever, etc. Except we were gas independent, and now gas is up 51%. Energy independent for the first time ever. Same economy though. But this man said that was it, and now we're going right back to, well, what it was like in 2016 and before. Kind of like in the 2008 and 2009 housing crisis, etc., etc. I mean, for instance, if there was war, which we don't have right now, people would say, yeah, it's okay. I can sacrifice because, I see the death and I see the destruction that they're putting on our mainstream media every day. They'd be okay, the everyday person, with spending a little more for their essentials because it'd be for the greater good, That's the narrative they'd have. It'd be okay that our supply chains are getting hit right now, and we may experience some shortages because we're at war. Remember? But we're not. You see, they don't have this cover story, and the people are seeing this. And yes, we know that they are still trying to use the pandemic as a cover story, but the people aren't, falling for the boy who cried wolf anymore. They've done the research and followed the science that they were told to follow. And, well, they know that this virus has never been isolated in a lab. And they know that, they're changing the test because they never worked. So how'd you test for it in the first place? They see these things. Oh, and your mask don't work? It hurts you more than it benefits you? Oh, and now you want to target the children. They see this. On top of the inflation that is hitting the economy. And who are they going to blame? Well, I do believe that they have already pointed fingers at the puppet that is in play. The resident in the White House right now. 77% of Americans are now saying that inflation is personally affecting them and their livelihoods, their purchasing power, and the ability to provide for their families. And what do we have in common? What have we gone over on this channel? We've said that everybody in America has the same thing in common. There's one common denominator, and it is the economy. How much money you can make? Can you get health insurance? Can you even get a job? How much are you being taxed? It doesn't matter what color you are, who you voted for, how much you weigh, if you're gay, if you're straight. We've got this in common. But 77% of Americans, today is a date with 77 in numerology. That's crazy. But almost 60%, 57% blame Biden. You see, the people were seeing just what this administration's true agenda and goals really are. And it's not to benefit them, the people. They are now saying they've been lied to. I'm hearing that more and more. But let's not be so quick to just point the blame on Biden, you guys. Let's remember he's controlled by the puppet masters, the private Western central bankers, and the Federal Reserve, the globalist elites. So don't be so quick to point the blame. Dollar Tree says they can't sell their items for just $1 no more. They've got it up at 25 cents. The same cheap plastic items, though, you guys, that, are from China. Because we don't do manufacturing in America no more. Some patriots we are. Took the orange guy to bring that back. Now we're going to watch it go away again. Anyways, but the same plastic, generic, cheap items at the Dollar Tree, well, they can't be sold for $1 no more. Inflation. It's just we can't keep up with it. We've got to hurt the people and target their purchasing power and spending ability every way we can. We're already seeing rent increases spread throughout the nation. My rent $120 a month alone starting January. Wow. How are the people supposed to keep up with this? They've been targeted for 2 years now since the pandemic started. Some businesses still haven't opened. Some people are still on unemployment. Nothing's changed but the currency. Whose currency? The private Western central bankers, which affects your livelihood and your spending ability, your purchasing power. But it's okay, you guys, because this Thanksgiving we see that Today News is out here telling us that, hey, you don't have to buy a turkey. You can use things and purchase things like soy, and you can, shape it into a turkey. How about that? You can afford the 20% increase? That's fine. Don't even get a turkey this Thanksgiving. What kind of shit is that in America? But hey, I'll be lucky if this one makes it through. But it's just affecting us, you guys, the everyday person. And we see the narrative building though, because it's not over. But the economists post that the sharp increase in inflation over the past year blindsided many of them. Almost no one saw it coming. Well, hell, maybe you think I could get a job as an economist because we've been out here for 2 years since the pandemic started, warning you of this hyperinflation that is coming. And it's going to be hyper to your pockets. Okay? Remember that. And we've been warning you. To our pockets, the American people. Because the policies being put into place under the same economy that the orange guy had, where none of this happened. Where we, the American people, thrived. But hey, if you can't tell somebody something, well, maybe you have to show them. I don't know. Should you be worried? I don't know. I've stated many times, almost no one will be prepared for what happens next. So we'll see what happens, you guys. Stay sharp. But hey, Biden Treasury nominee says right here that there'll be no more private bank accounts. And all of the deposit accounts will be held directly at the Federal Reserve. Well, hell, that sounds kind of like a centralized system, even more centralized than a centralized broken system, the fractional reserve banking and quantitative easing system of the swift monetary fiat system we are on now, ran by these same globalist elites. That sounds like pure, monotony, to be honest. But hey, I'll shut up. But what kind of shit is this? This is totalitarianistic, socialism, communistic regime push right here. But hey, look who's in charge. I'm just saying, do we even, alright, I'll behave, but do we even know she's American, truly? I'm just saying. I'm just wondering, like, what's her true purpose? But hey, I'll behave. But when we understand how slow and archaic and antiquated our banking system is compared to the innovative technology that we are seeing coming out on a day-to-day basis, then we're able to grasp onto the concept that we are moving into Web 3.0 from Web 2.0, from industrial to technical and technological. Okay, the fourth industrial revolution, as I've stated for 2 years. The biggest shift in our lifetime in finance is happening while the world watches their WAP videos and sportings events, while they still play victim to the bear flu that we saw 2 years ago, even though Florida's been open for 2 years and it just knows not to go there, and it's unconstitutional to ask for, green passes like yellow stars back in 1941 in Nazi Germany. I'm just saying, like, I'll behave. This sounds a lot like problem, reaction, solution building up, a lot of the Hegelian dialectic building up, keep the masses distracted with the right hand, and while they're not watching, do something else with the left hand. Okay? I'm just saying. Use your intuition, not emotion, you guys. Follow what they are doing, not what they are saying. Alright? Watch methodically when they speak, and then go and research it deeper and deeper. And then get your own conclusion out of that. And 9 out of 10 times you'll see that, well damn, they do opposite of what they said they was gonna do. How about that? They gobble up assets, print our money into oblivion, to infinity and beyond, causing massive waves of inflation that we've spoken about earlier. Gas has gone up almost $4. Wait till it hits $4.20 in eastern North Carolina. And then come back and tell me how did I know. We're in the year of Saturn. We go over that. Rent prices have gone up 40% across the nation, like I stated earlier. And we're slowly being pushed into this poverty system that I've warned you about. And if you do not make the conscious and aware decision to do something about it, then you're going to fall victim to their next system and their new system, central bank digital currencies. And you'll probably fall victim to their next pandemic that we're going to go over in a little bit. But someone in your family will have to make this decision. And why not make it you? I'm just saying, that's what I've been stating for 2 years. But don't allow them to keep you trapped in this American dream of long debt and credit cycles, 30-year mortgages with 50-year loans on your car that you have to have, that are about, they're about to scream, get into credit card debt as we approach the Christmas and holiday seasons. And it's all designed to keep you trapped, confused, lost, and broke in this system so that they can keep their control. And it's your time to rise, pioneers, and that's why I do this each and every day. And we've been raised in a job society, which jobs stand for keeping you just over broke. S is for system, just over broke system. And we're taught to we have to have one to live and to be a part of society, so that we're not looked down upon by our friends and family members. When in all reality, again, a job keeps you just over broke. Prove me wrong. We have been raised in this indoctrination system to go out and get these jobs, to be forced into this banking system. So we are never expected to know how banking really works, because they purposely don't teach us this no more. Finance, economics, civics in school as we're growing up. We're taught to be distracted. Most of the time they'll give the adult any kind of ball, basketball, baseball, foosball, to keep them distracted, fantasy sports, anyways, etc. We are all just taught to go to school, get a job, get your credit card. Okay, come get a few loans now. Here's your 30-year mortgage. And go into debt every holiday season and around loved ones' birthdays. And don't forget to get that car that society approves of, instead of that one that works just fine, just might be sore to the eyes. They keep you fighting till Friday to get your paycheck in this just over broke system that we're seeing leaves you even more and more broke in Biden's America. Not to mention the every 10 to 13 day narrative we see of a solar flare for a year now. When's it gonna hit, dude? We're just wondering. We now see experts are warning that the U.S. is vulnerable to an EMP attack, an electromagnetic pulse attack from adversaries such as China. It's always China or Russia. Could it ever just be anybody else? Could you just kind of try and make it interesting? Anyways. But hey, we see, they don't want you to use private, alternative currencies, decentralized currencies, they tell us, because they want you to stay in this private Western central banking system. So maybe we do see some news out of El Salvador, who's trying to push Bitcoin as legal tender, and now that we see the IMF stating that they can't do that, well, why not? Anyways, I'm not saying I'm for or against that. I'm just saying narrative building out of El Salvador. Let's see what happens. But and the time is running out to invest in defending the country from it. It is what the insider paper tells us, you guys. But remember, this same puppet in play right now on his first day took out the 2018 executive order that was protecting our power grid. And we've gone over this since, January. It's only taken like 11 months to destroy everything we did that benefited the people in 5 years. So, hey, you think the people can last 4 more years? You still think this is a 4-year cycle? Or will the people rise against this corruption? Now the World Economic Forum, the people who think they are in control since the pandemic, tell you since in 2030 you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. But they say, hey, climate change could disrupt digital financial systems. And I hope you watch that 1 minute and 31 second. You know what? Matter of fact, we're going to watch it. But they're saying weather could freeze your bank account, you guys. What a narrative. We've warned you about this. They just held a 3-day cyber pandemic called Cyber Polygon, where they hacked everything. Hospitals, transportation, banking systems, internet, and they shut it all down in a 3-day event. And we've since, then we've seen the Swift hack, Fed hack, JBS meat producers hacked, gas lines hacked, etc., etc. And hey, man, I'm just the one that's been trying to prepare you for what's coming next. But let's see what they said. They already said we could see a bear flu-like cyber attack that would make the pandemic look like a blip on the radar. So, are you serious? It isn't a post, you guys. It did let me view it earlier. It's surprising once I'm up on an upload and a live. Let's go back and see if we can view it. I just think it's an interesting narrative building. Weather could freeze your bank account. Blows my mind. Right? No, we won't see that. Will we? We've seen climate change. Is that their next cover story? Their next invisible enemy? Because we know these globalist elite, these private Western central bankers don't want to come out and tell you that it's their fractional reserve banking, their borrowing and loaning and spending of money that they don't have, their quantitative easing system and corrupt system that is failing. That is the cause of everything. They don't want to come out there and tell you that when we see this happen. But we'll know who to point the fingers at. And it won't just be Biden. I'm not accepting cookies from this page. I'm not joining this page neither. Alright, yeah, it's not gonna play. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Sure played earlier. Just fine. But we see the narratives building, you guys, and you know what it is on this channel. I believe that what you believe in your hearts and speak in your minds will eventually become your words and your reality one day. And I've learned these things from a very valuable mentor along my way, Coach JB at the 3T Warrior Academy. And he teaches me that what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset. And what gets ingrained in that subconscious mindset of yours becomes an unconscious reaction and activity. Mine's always been to protect others, and as we head into this financial paradigm shift, protect them and hedge against the rate of inflation that we are now seeing running rampant across America today. You know, it was never going to happen. Remember, you know, hyperinflation was never on the horizon, is what I would get told when I make those posts, and I would say those exact words, that it was over the horizon. I saw it coming. You know, I'm an 8 of Wands birth card, and go and do your research. Very psychic. Thank you. So when something matches my intuition frequency and I resonate with it, I follow up with it. And 9 times out of 10, I'm very spot on. Call it what it is. You know, I just look like this, I guess you can say. But, you know, I do try and manifest greatness and tap into my who I am. And if you have never decoded yourself, I suggest you really try and look into doing that and tapping into your true potential and power. We are gods and goddesses, and I tell you that time and time again on this channel. But it's always been about protecting your financial sovereignty and wealth, and allowing you to take control of your financial freedom. Because when you can have financial freedom, you can free your dome. And when we understand that numbers are nothing, because people get fixated and effixiated on a number. They think 1 million, you'll be set, or 10 million will be set, whatever the number it is for them, you know, which is nonsense. You can have nothing and be just fine if you know the power of you. And I find that very valuable. And I try and teach this, you know, the value of giving someone a fish so that they can eat for a day, and then leaving them that fishing pole so that they can eat for a lifetime, but teaching them along their way how to farm so that they can feed nations. And that's what this channel has always been about. And those that resonates with, that can keep up with how deep this journey is going to go, and the things I use along my way to get to where we're at today on this channel 2 years after the creation of it, you know, it's powerful. I think, you know, we'll see how it goes. But with all that being said, you guys, we're going to get into a decode and some price charts. I definitely want to come out and say a few things about some things we're seeing in the economy that, you know, we knew were coming. We were warned. Warned by who? Well, for one, an orange guy, and then the writings on the wall. And it's important that we pay attention to these things and get back into understanding finance and economics. Because when we understand these two things, we understand that, well, for one, how the world really works. And when we understand those 3 things, the trinity of finance, economics, and how the world really works, we understand that everything's planned out. Point blank period. And I go over these things. But, yeah, you know, let's get into the decode. We'll take a quick look at the price charts and talk about a few things before we do that. But for anybody that isn't interested in the numbers or the nonsense, the monotony, whatever. What we see today is November 25th, 2021, a date when you add up 11 plus 25 plus 20 plus 21, you get 77, which is the date I spoke about a few days ago on my November 22nd video, because of the 22nd being a very powerful day right here, where we again saw a sell-off. And I've stated time and time again for months in multiple videos in the past that we've seen more red 22 days of the month than we've seen green 22nds of the month. And I find that powerful right now as we head into the 22nd year of the 21st century, and we're in 2021, the year of Saturn. The next day after my video, it was a date that gave us, 77 days from the start of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish Hebrew New Year. And, that 77 being a very powerful number that we spoke about extensively in my last video for, real quick video, 37 minutes. Go watch it, and you'll see the power of that number right there. We saw it. I said we could see, we were trading and double bottomed at our 55,000 range. I said we could possibly see it go a little lower. We did actually, just a few hours after my video ended actually. And then we saw it go up the next day on a day that was 77 days since Rosh Hashanah, very powerful number. And today being a date with 77 in numerology, we see Bitcoin trying to retest 59K. I came out, was looking at the charts over the last few days, and I've set this range of 60K that I'd like to see us break back above. And then treat that as support and work our way on up, potentially possibly doing inverse head and shoulders like back here. Pattern could be playing out very nicely right here, and we'll just have to see. But left shoulder head, potentially right shoulder being formed. We'll just have to see what happens. That's pretty ugly right there. My bad. I could have drawn that better, I guess. But yeah, oh man. Yeah, we'll just have to see what happens and continue to play out, the scenario of the hurry up and wait situation. I'm still very bullish, like I stated in my last video a couple of days ago, and we're continuing to hold that momentum. And obviously, the code is holding fruition to showing that today being a very powerful day, seeing some volatility up 2.78% already, having a high of 59,000 even. So very, very powerful. I think, again, today when we add up 11 plus 25 plus 21, we're getting 57. Moon equals 57. And you guys know that today is Thursday, the day of Jupiter. And I love Thursdays. So not surprised, very, very bullish to see this price increase so far. Now, let's talk about, indicators and moving averages. Here's the moon phases. We said in my last video, and even the previous video before that, that I was kind of waiting until like the 24th, 25th to see this bearish energy disappear and start to see some bullish energy come back into the markets. And today's 11/25. And we know that, well, that's 6 days after the full moon. We know we have a window of bullish and bearishness around the new and full moons that are 3 to 5 days before, on, or 3 to 5 days after these cycles. New moons typically bringing bullish energy, and full moons typically bringing bearish energy, and we've exposed this since, late last year, early last year, time and time again. So, or all year long, I mean to say. Last year was the pandemic. But anyways, you can go back years and see this play out, fruition, time and time again. It's a little off sometimes around eclipses, and we're seeing that Mercury in retrograde periods, etc. And we've exposed that during these time frames. So let's continue to watch this play out. One thing I do want to add as a secret for you guys that are watching this channel, the true pioneers, when you add this moon phase to your price charts, what I do is I flip the green and the red indicators in the background. I leave the new moons green, the red moons, the full moons red. This is truly red when you first click this indicator and add it to your charts. What I do is change these two around, and it helps me out a lot. It does, how I look at the charts and predict the energy, etc. So, just an insight for you guys if you're just looking at my charts thinking that, you can pull up the moon phases indicator and be just fine. We'll go ahead and flip these two. You can go right here to settings. And then you can go growing moon, waning moon, just change the color on these two, etc. There you go. Yeah, just want to go over that, share with you guys. Look at the Bollinger Bands on the daily time frame right now. We're all on the daily again. But yeah, just heading back up towards the median of the Bollinger Band, sitting there right around 61K, which is where I'm, predicting that breakout. We were talking about a W pattern breakout. Typically, we would see a higher low and not a lower low set. So we might show that this could just be a inverse head and shoulders only pattern playing out, where we could typically break up towards this median, maybe back above the previous Fibonacci range, which is the 3.618 Fibonacci extension range, which is testing our previous highs back in April, etc. So yeah, we could see that play out and then come back and retest this $60,000 range where, we've shown clear support of, held right here about 60,600. So, we could see all that play out possibly as we form that right shoulder before continuing up towards that 69K retest. Build momentum. Let's talk about EMA's exponential moving averages. And let's do that on our other chart, you guys, as a matter of fact, our Bitstamp chart. I like it better. I'm really able to talk about and show you a lot more. The RSI, the MACD, etc. More indicators and oscillators that we use to keep us, prepared and updated on a daily, 3-day, etc. time frame. It's important to zoom out when you're in doubt, you guys. Don't get caught up on the hourly, the 4-day, or the 1-day time frames. The 4-hour time frame I meant, not the 4-day. 5-day and the 2-day, if you have a pro trading view, are very useful. 2-day MACD bullish crosses on XRP are hidden indicators, by the way. Very educational video today, slowed down for you guys and put together. Hopefully you'll respect it and enjoy it as you give thanks for what you've got on this very important day, regardless of what you believe and if you celebrate it or not. We're looking at XRP. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Sorry, just waiting for it to load, that's all. My computer's slow. We know it's 13 years old. As old as Bitcoin. Alright, we were talking about the Bollinger Bands. We'll pull those up. Let's get this to where we can see it. Boom. There we go. Good view of everything. We see our previous W pattern breakout that took us to 69K and not a penny over. We see that right up here if we look at these numbers where we see a test of high of 59K today, not a penny over. We saw that 69K retest previously on November 10th, and we prepared you with that. We're in the year of Saturn. We knew that 69 being a very powerful number, and we exposed that time and time again in previous videos. But clear W pattern breakout, we know it's ugly, but it is what it is, and it took us there. Since then, we saw a 4-day historical. We saw that in 2017 with a 1-day pullback in 2013 that was 22% in 1 day. So a very huge pullback in 2013. We saw a four-day pullback in 2017, and today, we're doing something a little different this year, and I think it's potentially, again, forming a head and shoulders pattern just like we saw form around the Rosh Hashanah, very important time frame. We talk a lot lately about being connected to this date still, the most important time of the year, leading up to the second most important time of the year, and the rituals around Saturnalia coming up in Hanukkah as we approach that in 3 days. And we'll expose the power of that 3-day window today and getting this bullish energy, I think, in the decode. So stay tuned for that, okay? And you'll understand why I see that. Hidden indicators that we'll talk about later tonight are going to be the double exponential moving average, the 112-day moving average, and the 115-day double exponential moving average. Big shout outs to Josh. Thank you, man, for that. I think it's very valuable in my opinion, those numbers and following that. And right now to see us get back above that would keep me very bullish as we see them setting at about $60,000 where I see, this potential head and shoulders forming if we can get back up to, and then, coming back down a little bit to form this right shoulder before continuation. So thank you for that. We exposed the greatness in that number, the 112 and the 115, time and time again in our last several videos over the past month. So big shout outs to Josh for giving us that hidden indicator that we can now use on our channel and add. So awesome. Great to see our Pioneer channel grow. As we see the 13 and 55 day exponential moving average, we see that we're headed back towards that 13 right now. That's sitting at about 59K. We saw a test of 59.3. We saw a test of 59 today and not a penny over. So let's see what happens as we close today later on. Thanksgiving tends to sometimes bring some volatility to the markets around holidays. Very bullish to see that tradition play out today so far. Let's see what happens. Gives us something to talk about when we're with our families later. So boom, right now we are holding support above the 8 exponential moving average. And there's our 34. So, 13's below the 34. That's a bearish cross right now. We're waiting to see that turn bullish again as well. Very bullish cross when that 8 gets above the 34. I definitely want to see this 8 stay above this 55-day moving average that we are seeing right now. We see right now a bounce off of it and running sideways with it. So let's see what happens. And that 200 double exponential moving average. So far a support right there. Starting to hopefully, maybe we could see our first daily close above this 200 exponential moving average and 55-day moving average for the first time in, several days. Let's, see multiple daily closes above that. That would, be a good bullish indicator for me for Bitcoin. So, yeah, definitely keeping an eye on that. And this 21 and 200. So, the 200 is going to be down here. Sorry. So the 200 exponential, because this white line was the 200 double exponential. That was with the 55. And there's our 200 exponential, which I do not see. I really don't see us going back to 49K. I just don't do it. Maybe the 51K, a retest of, the 618 Fibonacci extension. I called for that. Possibly we do see it. Who knows? I do think it'd be around November 29th. And we'll talk about that later in the decode. We exposed that in our last video. Just saying, we'll see what happens if we don't get up out of here before then. So, just what I'm saying. Maybe we'll see what happens. Boom. Yeah, that's it for the indicators right now. We'll zoom out real quick. We'll take a look at the RSI, the relative strength index for Bitcoin, as well as the MACD on the daily time frames. Setting at 46 for Bitcoin. It's definitely got room to grow. We see a clear W pattern possibly break out on the RSI. Very bullish indicator. It is setting higher lows. We can see right here, if you pay attention to this white dotted line that runs horizontally across the screen, we see our first low right here. We see our higher low right here. So very bullish W pattern breakout on the RSI. Just like we had back here, ugly, but it worked. So let's get back above this RSI of 71, 72, where that trend line will be running. 72, Bitcoin equals 72 in numerology, and we'll see that in our decode later. We know it being a very powerful number on this channel. Let's see what happens as time continues to play out. But 46, definitely, bearish right now, but hey, it can flip very bullish very quickly for Bitcoin. And we know this. It can jump $10,000 in a matter of minutes. And we've seen it happen time and time again. So there's the RSI, relative strength index on the daily, looking okay. So let's continue to see it set higher highs and higher lows. MACD, starting to curve up. We see a trend, possible trend line forming upwards. Trend lines aren't nothing, but we do have the world's famous, longest active trend line for the XRP channel in history, in price chart history. Nobody exposes this on YouTube or Twitter or nothing except for me, Mr. XRPillionaire. So we'll see what happens. As we break back above that eventually. But we see a trend line right here on the MACD on the daily time frame for Bitcoin. That is, hey, we're starting to see the bearish energy disappear. And if we get a bullish cross with the MACD above the signal line, well, we see how things can get. We can get bullish quick. And, let's just see what happens in the near distant future. As I continue to say, we are approaching near December 2nd to the 6th, I believe, around December 4th, full moon or new moon, we see the top come in for Bitcoin, possibly around 144K, and we'll expose the significance around that number and price prediction tonight in the decode. So yeah, let's take a quick look at XRP real quick. Maybe we'll look at a few altcoins and do some more on the price charts. Again, just trying to be a very educational and informational video for you all tonight. Slow down before we get into the monotony of the decodes. So yeah, let's get out of here, MACD. Let's go to XRP. I don't know what I was doing. I was going all the way to the bottom for some reason. I don't know why. So right now, at a zoomed out version, setting at 105, $1.05, we know the power of XRP behind 104 and 105, and we expose this time and time again, and we're going to talk about more of that in the decode tonight as we get into it. But today being a numerology date that gives us 14, it's not surprising to see XRP, with a low of 105 or 102 right now, and been battling on the 1 minute time frame around that 104, 105. For quite some time today, so not surprising. Tomorrow is obviously a date with 15 when typed out in numerology, so we'll talk about that in decode. But anyways, don't mean to get into the monotony, sorry. But 43 on the RSI. Hey, anything in the 40s and 30s I like for XRP. It's got plenty of room to grow, I think. Not financial advice, just my personal opinion. I did state in my last video that I was expecting to, hopefully get my buy order hit at 99 cents. And we did see XRP hit $1, have a low of $1, 1.00661. So 99 cents hasn't been achieved yet. And we don't know that it will. We saw that 200 exponential moving average setting right here at 98 cents, 99 cents. So, I was being a little conservative. Maybe I should have been a little bit more. We'll have to see what happens. Maybe I don't get that last accumulation right here. Maybe it dips down a little bit lower to 96 or something. Well, who knows? We'll see what happens. But, and we're not saying that it will. We see, I put this trading range up for XRP quite some videos ago. And it's just to see this play out. And then to come back and trade around this $1.04 and $1.05 range. Well, it just shows the power in the numbers, you guys. To get rejected from $1.34, we know Ripple XRP equals 134. It just shows the power in staying to the end of the video tonight and getting the code. I think the code's very valuable with the technical analysis and astrology, as well as astrotheology and alchemy, etc. But anyways, again, no monotony. MACD on the daily time frame for XRP, same situation. We see a possible, upwards trend as we see this bearish energy start to wane and hopefully flip the MACD signal line and turn bullish again. And we know what can happen, time and time again. That would be bullish. If we can get one green candle, we can see, we can go back in history and see XRP rockets and moves straight up and doesn't stay there long. So it's best to have limit orders set, not financial advice. Maybe you don't hit the top. Maybe you do. Who knows? But hey, I'm going to use gematria and numerology to try and understand and upperstand so that I can understand these markets. And we'll see what happens. And we'll be financially transparent with you guys because that's what this channel is about. But let's get into the indicators and let's see what we're seeing on the price charts. What I'm seeing. All right, so as we were talking about earlier, we know if we got it in logarithmic view. We'll change that in a minute. but I've got it in that so we can view our longest active trend line in XRP charting history that no one else exposes but me. Okay, not a single person. All right, and I believe that to be a very true indicator of when I see these potential Fibonacci extensions reached of possibly, $6, $7 and higher for XRP. We'll see what happens. But I just want to show you the significance and importance of this trend line in case you're new to this channel. And we've recently seen it tested twice. We've knocked on the door twice, broken above it twice. Hey, 3 strikes and you out, I think. And we'll see what happens. In live, we're going to go ahead and extend this right now so we can get some potential price targets for the future. And we're looking at, I'm thinking in the near distant future, that retest of $1.40, where we saw our bull trap come into fruition that I called for and I prepared you guys for at $1.40. Why? Because it was our 618 Fibonacci extension level. And if you do not know anything about Fibonacci's, well, everything in life has a Fibonacci sequence and number. And I think that's very important and valuable that we understand that. So I think it's a very, very valuable indicator that we use on this channel. We know November 23rd was Fibonacci Day. Thank you, Blockchain Backer, for that great insight and lesson that we learned from you there the other day on the 23rd. So give him a follow if you don't. I don't believe everything he believes, but I also follow him for his experience, his technical analysis and what he teaches. What can he teach me? And then what can I apply that to my truths and my beliefs in life? So again, just big supporter of the Blockchain Backer. Definitely don't want to, say anything bad or anybody take it the wrong way. But yeah, definitely looking for that 140 range as we extend that trend line out, and a retest of that and a break above. So we'll see what happens. Who knows? That could be around the start of December, and I've stated that we could see XRP stay stagnant or trading downwards or just whatever until the end of November. And hey, then I think we'll start to see it, crank the engine and start moving into first gear a little bit. And we'll see what happens as we continue to see this play out. Right now, our indicators. Let's take a look at the 8 and 21 day. So there's the 8 and the 34. We're below our 8. We're below our trading range at $1.05. Just hurry up and wait situation, I guess. We're above the bottom side Bollinger Band and above the 200 exponential moving average, so that's very bullish. That's our last key of support, I think. I've already stated I don't see it going back under $1. I really, that's our last line of support, in my opinion. We'd have to come back out here and, readjust our cognitive bias, I guess, in the markets for XRP and Bitcoin if we saw, these lower ranges eliminated and we start trading below them. We'll have to see if we're potentially seeing a transition into a bear market. Right now, again, I still think we're 80% in the bull market and 20% heading into a bear market, and I've stated that. So we'll see what happens. This 200 double exponential moving average is, well, it's right up here at around $1.14, that 114 number. So trading right above that at $1.15, very powerful number. We expose that significance on this channel, so that's nice. 13 and 55 day moving average. So 13's flipped to 55 again, just like Bitcoin. That's bearish. The 8's flipped to 55. That's bearish. And those are our pioneer crosses. When the 8 flips to 34 and when the 8 flips to 35. When that 8 flips to 13, that's our super bullish pioneer cross, in my opinion. So let's look for that 8 to flip that 13-day yellow moving average. So this will be the 8, the 13, the 34. There's the median of the Bollinger Band right below the 34, and it's right there in line with the 55-day moving average that is setting at $1.10. And we know how powerful this $1.11 trading range is, this resistance and support line that we are now treating as resistance and have been for quite some time. Let's get back above and treat it as support. We know what happens as we get above this powerful range and this powerful trend line. Okay, that 111 number again, we've exposed on this channel. It's the number that allows you the importance of looking within to discover your purpose. It's about accepting a new phase in your life, and it's about realizing your self-worth and having confidence, you guys. It's a very powerful number right there. All right, it's not just $1.11. Okay, first of all, money isn't currency, and when you realize that, you understand you don't have nothing unless you own assets, property, land, etc. So, just saying, don't mean to get red pillish. I'm trying to keep this information on educational, but I think it's important and we understand these things. We've been lied to, we've been tricked, and it's, it's okay if you don't believe it, but when you do realize it, come back and join the crowd. We're not gonna, just abandon you and disown you. But let's break this bottom side trading range so we can test the 123 top side that trading range in the near distant future and get back above it, treat it as support, and head to that 140 range. That's what we're looking for. And then we'll obviously get back to our golden pocket at $1.50. XRP equals 15. It'd be amazing to see that everything just happened today and tomorrow. Tomorrow being a date that gives us 15 in numerology, and we're about to expose that in the decode. So that's it for XRP. I think we're going to get into the importance of the decode. I do got to get out of here and head towards, getting with the family later and everything. So, if I got time, we'll look at a few more coins, but everything follows Bitcoin. We know this. When the liquidity leaves Bitcoin, altcoins and the larger caps, they tend to rise. Okay, point blank period. Boom. Do your research if you don't understand, and if you don't understand it, maybe now is not the right time as we exit at the bull market in the near distant future, like weeks to come, days. Expect volatility. I'm just saying. Today being November 25th, 2021. Again, Thursday, the day of Jupiter. And we know the importance of that day, Jupiter being a very powerful dominant force. Zeus, you guys. We know Jupiter defeated Kronos. So very powerful things. 11 weeks and 2 days from Rosh Hashanah. And we'll speak about the importance of that number in just a moment. But again, today is a date with 77 in numerology. And not only that, it's also a date that gives us 57 when added up 11 plus 25 plus 21 right here. Just like on Rosh Hashanah, when we saw that large volatility to the downside on the start of the Shemitah, which we know Sept is 7. Okay? So the 7th month, 7th day, 77 in numerology today. Very powerful. Just saying. So I see some powerful lineups here. Again, when we type out 11-4 or 11-25-2021, we get the 14. And we know God, time, Satan all give us the 14. And we've got that right here in our decode for today. When we type it out, 11-25-2021, we get the 14. All right, time, God, Satan, all equal in 14, okay? So very powerful. November 25th, 2021, when we type this out, we see the 27 tying us into Jupiter today. We get that 27 in Jupiter. Okay, today is Thursday, the day of Jupiter. And very important. Not only that, we're in the year of Saturn. And we see that 42 tying us into Saturn today. So very powerful. Today's date numerology, when written November 25th, 2025, gives us the 36 or the 63. And that's powerful today because, well, today leaves 36, the mirror of 63. At least 36 days left in today. So very powerful connection here. And we see that 41 when we added up 1125 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1. The mirror of the 14 we get when we type out today's date. So again, you cannot make these things up. The tetragrammaton tying us into the fact that we're in the 47th week of the year. Okay. Jupiter gives us that same 36 today on Thursday, the day of Jupiter, that we get in 36 days left in the year today during the 47th week of the year. So very powerful things, you guys. And we're tied into that 27 again through Venus. One way we can perceive this 27 number is, it is 2 sevens. That's powerful because, well, today gives us 77 in numerology, which is a day that is 11 weeks and 2 days from the start of the Shemitah and Rosh Hashanah. And we know that's powerful because we get both that 77 and that 112 in Judaism. So, you know, very powerful. Just seeing this ultimate connection. And then that 49, we know we're in the 7th year Shemitah, which 7 times 7 is 49. So every 7 years we have a sabbatical year, a release year in Judaism. Okay, so, and then that next year is the 50th year, the Jubilee, which is what we are heading into this year. So 7 times 7 is 49. So again, very powerful, as we know we are in the year of sevens on this channel, and we expose this. Not only that, today is Thursday, the day of Jupiter, and we know we get that 24 in Jupiter's logo. Jupiter's thunderbolt, you guys, and we expose the importance of that. You know, it's great to know that that's what this is called, is Jupiter's thunderbolt. And we get that 24 today, Thursday, the day of Jupiter. When we type it out November 25, 2021, you just cannot make this up. You know, and that 30 that we get, that last number, so I can show you in Chaldean the pure cipher, well, that ties you into Alice, you guys. Alice gives you that same 30, okay? Well, we are all Alice, okay? Alice in Wonderland, giving us that 42, you guys, tying us into today in the 47th week of the year, okay? In the 11th month, all right, with 52 weeks in the year. You know, my name, you guys, I exposed this before. You know, I am Alice, you guys, in Wonderland. I'm only able to come out here and tell you these things because you see that 65 in numerology right there? It's because I've been able to become enlightened. Hey. Sorry, you guys. And I still spelled it wrong. Anyways, enlightened. I've exposed it on the channel. The 65 you get. Alright. I just obviously don't know where it's at. I don't have it right in front of me. And I obviously right now can't think of how to spell enlightened. But, sorry. But, I'm just saying, very powerful things that we are seeing, okay, today. We already see the volatility in the price charts right now above 59K. Right there at that 8 exponential moving average, above our 55 exponential moving average for Bitcoin, headed towards that 60K that I've been telling you. I think we're headed towards now. You know, pay attention to this range. We're gonna work our way back up towards 69K. That's just my beliefs. And then I think we're gonna see 72K because, well, as we continue to look at today, we know that today gave us 36 days left in the year. On the day of Jupiter, Thursday, Jupiter gives us that 36. We know Bitcoin, you guys, gives us that 36. And we speak about the significance and the power of this 36. You are the 3 sixes, you guys. The 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. Man was created on the 6th day. Okay? So very important, you know, so very important. You know, you're the X or the Y, whichever gender you are. I mean, there's really only two, you guys. I don't know what the big fuss is, but Bitcoin's going to hit 72K. There's that 72 I was talking about. But, you know, you're the X or the Y, you know, and if you're an X, well, then there's that 6 and that 24 tying you into today and Jupiter's logo. And well, if you're that Y, you know, you're today, the 25, you know, today's your day. Either way, it doesn't matter. However you look at it, okay? So very powerful when you understand these things, okay? Just it is what it is, man. Maybe you don't see it. Maybe it's just me. But we know that today's 11 weeks and 2 days from the start of Rosh Hashanah, and we got that 77 in the date numerology, and we've been speaking about Jupiter's thunderbolt, giving us, you know, that energy today, that 77 energy, you guys, that 112. Again, tying us all the way back into the tetragrammaton with that 86, and tying us into Ripple today with that 86. Ripple equals 86. Tetragrammaton equals 86. Okay? In the 47th week of the year. So there's that 77 on the day of Jupiter. Jupiter's logo, Jupiter's thunderbolt, giving us this energy that we are seeing. Okay? So very powerful that we, you know, understand that. That 112, well, that's 56 times 2. Remember that. And we expose that 56 and the power of that on this channel. So it's all about how you perceive the numbers, and it's not just a number. You can perceive it, and it can work magic for you if you can decipher the code. This is an algorithm. Remember, Bitcoin was designed since its existence, since day one, to fulfill an algorithm. Okay? And algorithms run on numbers. Anyways, just saying, very powerful. But you know, we also are 3 days away from Rosh Hashanah, which that is 72 hours. 7 plus 2 is 9, completion. Okay, we're seeing this bullish energy 72 hours before Rosh Hashanah, and we're getting that 27 in numerology today, the mirror of 72. So let's pay attention to 11/28, 3 days from now, the start of Rosh Hashanah, which is an 8-day celebration for Hanukkah. Boom, but Hanukkah giving us that 42 that we get in the, you know, Saturn connection in the year of Saturn. That 27 we're getting today, 72 hours before Hanukkah, the mirror 27, which it's celebrated like I exposed in my last video for 8 days, getting that same 27 connection. Just very powerful. You know, undeniable, I think, but we'll have to see what happens. And again, you know, we know again Thor's day today, giving us that 27. You know, just saying, connections all over the place. Just use the code, you guys. I mean, I give it to you for free. I don't ask for nothing. You know, use it towards your truths. That 77 we're getting today. Well, 7 plus 7 is 14, you guys. We get that 14 when we type it out in the calculator today. So very important, you know, undeniable, you guys. So, you know, use the code. We got 36 days left in the year. That ties us into the 36th, the 3 sixes that you are, the 6 protons, neutrons, and electrons. That ties us into God's code, you guys. And I'll show you guys these things. At 36, that 72 we're getting. Very powerful. 72 times 2 is, well, dang. What is that? Huh, that's 144. Well, 36 plus 36 is 72. So, this is crazy. Anyways, but again, the dragon, the 13th zodiac that we are approaching after we transition through Sagittarius and the 12th month, you know. Anyways, we're getting the same 36, that 151, which is the 36 prime number, and that 47th week of the year. Very powerful, you guys. Economy, pay attention to it. Gives us that 36, that 99 tying us into Jupiter, and that 27. So very powerful connection right here. All right, I'm just saying, let's pay attention. we'll eventually watch this economy of America collapse, and you know, crypto will go with it, but you'll see it do a bull run first that makes the world the next millionaires, and you mark my words on these things. But you know, just very powerful connections that we expose. Again, 13th zodiac, the dragon. It gives you that same 36. I mean, undeniable. That 45 we're getting coming up again soon, so pay attention. On the 29th of the month, November 29th, we get that 45 in date numerology. So pay attention to that day. We've exposed the significance and importance of that day coming up, and I hope you're prepared. I do think it could be very volatile. We'll see what happens. I'm not predicting up or down. I'm just saying, hey, pay attention. History shows downside during a bull market, 2 back-to-back bull markets. Just saying. Anyways, but you know, pay attention to the videos. Go back and watch the last video and watch it and see the significance of the connections and the numbers with today. And you know, stay tuned for the 28th, the start of Hanukkah, and that 8-day celebration. 72 hours from now. Today's the date with 27 in numerology, tying us into Venus and Jupiter, you guys. Sagittarius this month ties us into 45. Jupiter 45. Jupiter is the ruling planet of Sagittarius. So there's that 144 connection in Bitcoin that I potentially see us hitting, which is 72 times 2. Okay. So very powerful, you guys, that we pay attention. And I'm seeing this possibly happen around December 4th, new moon. So we'll see what happens. With all that being said, we're going to sign off of this one. Take care, you guys. Stay solid. God bless. And we'll see you in the next one. Happy Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble.